Time we got 8:30. Look at that, we're right on time. Um, so I'm gonna go through because I wasn't there yesterday. I'm gonna go through the market, kind of update stuff too, and then we'll talk about kind of where my ATAs are and what I'm gonna do. Um, so starting with the stocks, a couple things I want you guys to look at. We've obviously had a really crazy run. You can kind of see your nice little head and shoulder formation trying to form here. It did break out of it here, but then back into a double top. So we could see a nice little fall on open there. But I want to show you if you go to the 4 hour and look at the SPX. So ever since the 13th of September, so way back, we've rejected super hard off the 41.54, right? So you can see like it climbed like crazy, right? And then bam, rejection. Climbed like crazy, bam, rejection. Climbed like crazy, bam, rejection, right? So also, as you guys know, I'm usually a big fan of, I like to see, you know, if you take that to that and you pull it over, it's about the same as that one. And then from this run, it's about the same as that one. So we're at a very critical spot. And I'm not saying that we're 100% going down, but be very cautious on your longs with your ATAs because if the XPS does this, if the XPX does this, the crypto market's coming down with it, right? So, um, however, each pullback, we've created a higher low. So if you really zoom out, right, like this, what we really have is an ascending triangle and this formation right here. So there could be a pullback, then early found support somewhere in here, and then pushed up, break this, and then that's the big push into this bull flag or bear flag that I have marked. Um, everybody is talking about the crash that's going to possibly be coming in the second quarter or second half of the year. And so I was looking at it, and this bear flag actually kind of lines up because if we pulled back a little bit here, then this ascending triangle broke out here, came up here, and then began to reject, right? And then came down and then rejected here. You're sometime in like a June, July, August area, right? Where that bear flag would break out. So very possible. Just keep in mind, you all know how these things go, right? When people are super bullish, we should be super bearish. When people are so super bearish, we should be super bullish. I mean, that's just and right now everything you see on the news is new bull run coming, mini bull run. Oh, man, we're so excited to the moon. Um, there's certain things that have to happen before I buy that. Now the stocks are pumping, which is good. Crypto, because I always said before, right? You can't have crypto pump without stocks pumping, right? For the bull run. So, um, that part is good, but still, the stocks have to break some critical levels. So, if you zoom out to the stocks, right, you have some previous support levels here on SPX, which has been strong resistance level, right? So I would need to see a break above here and a break above this bear flag to hold up here. Once it gets up here, then yeah, we should be worried because it's gonna pump hard, right? I just don't think things line up for that quite yet. We have the 4 hours just super super overbought here, so sellers are gonna kick in. You go to the 6 hour, same thing. We're super overbought. You go to the daily. I mean, we got some room on the daily, but the one thing on the daily I wanted to point out. So where was it? No, actually on the daily I don't see it. I was looking for like larger divergence, but you have higher high and you do have a higher high. You have a lower high, but you currently have a lower high. So the divergence isn't really a factor that I see on the daily. So and then you look at the SPY. I mean, it's really I don't typically like to cover both of them because it's really the same concepts, right? You can see, every time the SPY gets up to about somewhere between 415 and 418, I mean, it just absolutely tanks. I mean, just straight down, right? So just keep your eyes peeled on these levels. The if the SPY breaks 418 and holds a support, you want to be a little worried because we're likely going all the way up here to 431, which is going to just pull crypto way up. Um, I don't see that scenario playing out quite yet, but it would take some pretty big news for that scenario to play out. So, and I can't control the news, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Man, my throat. I was thinking all the pollen was gone, but still hanging on. Um, and so the Dixie, obviously we watched the Dixie. You guys know. I mean, I'm not going to cover a lot on the Dixie because I'm still following the same exact trend line that I've talked about forever, which is this trend line here. On a larger time frame, you have a double bottom forming. So if the dollar can break 102.60 and hold it, and start higher highs and higher lows, then we're likely to push up to the 105. And if it breaks that level, then then the dollar is going to run. And if the dollar runs, everything comes down. So, and to me, there's never a coincidence that the SPX is right at a crazy resistance, and the dollar is at a crazy support, right? Again, news can push this past, right, and flip flop it. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. But and then you guys know I follow the VIX now. We keep double bottoming on here on the 2 minute, and if you go to the 1 hour, you can see we're like literally at the bottom of where it just pumps every time. So the VIX is like the dollar. If it goes up, everything goes down. If it goes down, everything goes up. So that's why I put these two on this side over here. Market cap, nothing's really changed on the market cap, guys. If you go to the market cap, you can see you have your peak, 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 higher peak, like we talked about, double high peak. Now you have a low peak, right? This one kind of came up a little bit, but we're still struggling at this level. And we're still yet to break my double resistance up here. So we are a little bullish on the 1 hour, but we still have a gap to fill, guys. I mean, if you zoom out, I mean, even in this tear here, we still filled it a little bit before we pumped again, and then we came down and filled it fully. This is the trend line I'm following because I believe we will revisit this trend line at some point. Because you can see here, no matter how high it got, we revisited it. And we might see something like this playing out over here too, right? Where, we get a pullback and we find support, come up and hit it again before we come down and hit this line. But we're going to hit this line. It always does. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has not moved nearly as much as ETH. So I'll cover ETH on why that one moved. So Bitcoin, you can see out overnight, we kind of stopped around the 28,466. I still see, I don't know, I still see more bearish than bullish from Bitcoin. Now, my only possible counter why I was saying we may have one more push is if you take these lines, right, you pretty much have a pump and then parallel, which is a bull flag. So there may be one more, push attempt up here to the 29. And if that fails again, or if it hits up into this level, so this line is what I've been tracking here. You can see it's been pretty significant. And if we hit it somewhere, the next week or two, you're looking at probably 30K. I think 30K, for those who've been around for a bit, and I know John, you and Pop Bill have been around a little bit, anytime you hit 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, those kind of round numbers, it's a subconscious number for people. And they just instantly think it's going to be crazy resistance or crazy support. And so you tend to get really big bounces off of that. So that may be, what we're gearing up to is to try to get a push up to this 30K, right? Hit this and then just a straight down, which we've done, on occasions before. So um, at the end of the day, I mean, do I think I'm more bullish than bearish? Yeah, I'm probably more bullish than bearish for now, as far as the way that everything's going. I mean, how can you not, right? You're creating higher lows, you're getting larger pumps than you are dumps. The bulls are kicking in more than the bears, right? Even see the fall, and then you have a bigger push, right? So, um, even look at here, right? How fast we got up to this level and not, two nice pumps, but then you go back to that level and it took, one, two, three, four dumps, right? So that sort of tells you that the buyers are more active than the sellers, but people are still going to take profit. And remember, we could still be bullish and have this fall all the way to 21K and still be bullish, because as long as we create a higher low than here, and that's kind of the number. If you take the same line, the market cap I was following, it would be somewhere between 21 and 21.5, would be the low, if we went there like soon, right? Now, if we begin doing this, then you're 22. Now, my suggestion for anybody stuck in a deep short, if you've been writing it out, I would highly watch this line here, because even if it's not your entry, you may want to kill it somewhere in here, because it's gonna get a bounce, and you can just capitalize on it twice, right, to make back whatever you lost. Um, but holding on to this one, I mean, you could see another one of these pumps, and if you take this one to here, right, we'll just kind of straighten that out. And let's say we hit this line over, I don't know, over here or something like that. Let's say it takes a minute, right? I mean, you're looking at 31K, right? That you can get from a bounce from that if you did the same repeat like this. So just be really careful. I don't know that I see us breaking this 21 without any pending news, right? I mean, if banks start collapsing again and, China declares war, I mean, TA is just TA. We analyze the data that's in front of us right now, but news changes that, right? So could we go lower? Sure. I think that the super bottom right now, for Bitcoin, and at least for right now, is 19K. You all know, um, I'm trying to think if I want to show you guys this, but let me show you. We'll try to make this quick, because I don't have much changes on my ATA, so we can spend a little more time on this, because I've showed this a few times, but I don't know who remembers. So I'm going to go to Binance, because Binance goes a little bit farther back. Okay. So if you go back again, let's revisit the bull run behaviors. All right. So you have, right, kind of where it started down here. Then you have the true push. We came down, we revisited the true push. We had a pump, right? Then we revisited where it started, like right here, right? We revisited this again, and then we had another really big push. I mean, this is like, it's pretty significant. It doesn't look much, right? But from 6,000 to 10,000, right? Then, right, you can see we came down, we had smaller pushes, right? And then it fell. And it revisited where we started. But if you notice, times like this, I mean, this is like pretty significant push, right? Then you go over here to this next one, right? Which is a little more, I think, like kind of what we're seeing now. So you have the low, but you have kind of where it started, and then you have where it pumped. Then we fell, we revisited where it pumped, right here. We had a big pump, right? Then it came back down, revisited it again, and we had another big pump, right? And this is, 6K to 10K, or like, yeah, almost 11K. Then came the crash that revisited where we started, right here, right? And so I think we're following similar characteristics to this, and we're going through this, right, where we're just driving. But then this is going to come, and we're going to revisit where we started, right? These cycles do this every single time. Now, once we hit this, it was instant push up, right? And then we never saw that again, right? We went straight into the next bull run. But if you zoom out and you look at this, obviously more adoption, right? So it's larger characteristics. But you had your bull run, bull run 1, 2, it came down and it revisited. So zoom out a little bit further on, right? So you have this area got revisited a bunch here, came back up, revisited a bunch, but then it broke. And where did we revisit, right? We revisited where it pumped, the first like crazy pump. Then you come over, right? And we revisited it again. Remember we talked about that, how you revisit it again. Now we're right here, okay? So we have not had, or we potentially have already had, because we are almost double what that low was, right? Which is more than what the other one was, that push. So there could be a further push, but my anticipation is similar to the other ones. We're going to push, 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 maybe even up to the mid 30Ks. Then the true recession numbers are going to start to kick in, and you're going to have your big crash. And I still think we're going to visit somewhere between 10K and this 15K again. Possibly 12.4, because you can see this was the previous resistance here. You can see, right? So everybody's eyeballing this same level here, the 10K. That's why everybody talks about getting their 10K, right? So it's likely that it'll probably be maybe 12.5. So what you want to do is you want to run your ATAs, guys. Just run them, run them, run them, run them, run them. But if we get up to anywhere in this, mid 35 range, I will not be taking any longs. If I miss the bull run, I'll scalp. Even in the bull run, guys, we go up, we fell down a lot. We went up, we fell down a lot. We went up, we fell down a lot. I mean, yeah, you're gonna fight for your life and you'll be super deep on the trades for a bit, but there's so many opportunities still to get out, right? If you have the margin. But um, I still think that following the same characteristics of the last one, we're following it to a T, and we have one more pump, and then that big crash. And if you look at like right here where my cursor is, it's the same thing, July, August, right, somewhere in here. So I think it's going to go boom. It's going to go boom. Now, my suspicion is that it will be similar to this one, this little mini bull run, where I think it will be a crash, it will be a big bounce, and then I think we're just going up from there. I think it's going to be the same thing. I think we're going to come up, we're going to crash, it's going to hit it like super fast. We're not going to hang out at 10K. I don't think so. It's going to hit it and then it's going to bounce up, and then I think we're just going to go boom, 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 boom all the way up. So, but I mean, this is going to be like 2025 back here, and then I think that'll be the next bull run. My anticipation is, just because we have a 2 point trend line now, like this, which we've not had for, I don't know, some time, right? Since this pump. Um, if I had to anticipate a number, I would say we'll probably get somewhere up in this range before it crashes again. So I would say probably like somewhere in the like 95, maybe 100K range, and then we'll have another crazy pullback just like this. So, but now you guys are more educated, right? So you can anticipate and say, hey, I have a head and shoulder here. I might want to not, have a full 100% portfolio hanging on to. Hey, I have a double bottom or double top here. I might want to sell some of my portfolio, right? We're a little further educated. Um, so I wanted to dive into that, but that's a little bit of the thoughts of it, guys. You can look here. Another. This is what I was. This is what I was looking for earlier on the SPY. I know I've seen it, but I guess it's on Bitcoin, not SPY. But you see here, guys, look how peaked out we are here, and then look at the candle. Then we have a lower high, we have a higher high, we have an equal high, right, which is still a hidden divergence, and a higher high. So you have 1, 2, 3 points of bearish divergence. I mean, if you go back, And look, whenever you have that, like I'm trying to find, here we go. Here's a perfect example. Um, well, no, that one wasn't. Here's one right here. But you have one, two, 3 points, right? This is all it's coming down slightly, right? So you do have that bearish divergence, and you can see that pullback happen. And if you notice, this is on the daily, so it's a larger scale of time frame, right? But if you notice from here to here and then here to here, that's pretty much halfway. And remember, you only need to go halfway to fill that gap. Um, so that's kind of where I see everything. Um, I'm mostly spend a lot of time on Bitcoin because Bitcoin's gonna run it all. Um, I'm still I'm still thinking we have a gap fill. I'm again back to recover. Overall, I'm bullish, but I'm gonna see some pullbacks before we continue north because we have to have some form of healthy pullbacks. Um, Let me add. I was looking because on Bitcoin my zone tracker is missing. I might have took it off on accident. So I like the zone tracker because also it gives that 200 EMA. So I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so you can see, on the 1 hour with Bitcoin, we're still creating these lower lows. You did kind of have this like double bottom, bullish wick here. Um, we're fighting this EMA on the 1 hour. Here, you can see the Bollinger Bands are kind of sideways, but they are spreading a little bit, which is still, possibly bullish. I still think we have a gap fill to play out before we go full bullish. Um, but that's kind of my thoughts on Bitcoin. So Ethereum, um, you can see here on Ethereum. So what caused Ethereum to pump versus Bitcoin is Bitcoin was hanging below its EMAs. Ethereum held above the 200 EMA, right? It broke it, reclaimed it, broke it, reclaimed it, broke it, reclaimed it, right? Which is super bullish. And then on top of that, it also is holding on top of its 21 and 50 EMA. You got kind of like um, if you look here, you had the pump up and then you had the breakdown, which instantly pumped back up, and then the sellers just kind of gave up. I mean, this basically just wiped all the all the sellers. This move likely is still a market maker move. Anytime you see any kind of crazy candles like both ways like this, like super fast, it's not likely that it's retail. I mean, nobody's randomly buying or selling like that crazy quick. And likely what they're doing is they're wanting to wipe shorts. The one thing I will say is, if you all remember, I did this red line, and look at it, literally hit like right on this line. And I've been calling the 1880 for some time based on this line here. So I took the bottom peak of support here, the resistance here, and then that's my two peak plus here, and I dragged that across. This was the range I've been calling that we've been trading in. So I anticipate, and if you think about this, from a technical standpoint, right? You have a fall, and then you have lower high, higher low, which is a bear pennant. So which typically breaks down. So my thing on Ethereum, in order for us to stay bearish, we need a rejection to continue off of 1880. If we break 1880 and we hold it as support, just if you're deep in an Ethereum, I would hedge that thing because you're really not gonna. There's just nothing stopping you until like 2027. So either have a lot of margin or I highly suggest to hedge that. Now, if we can't break this 1880 and we continue to bump our head here, then the pullback is going to take you to about 1527, 1550. If this pattern breaks out, then you'll see a break below this line. So draw the same line. This is Tuesday, November 22nd. Just go to the daily, and then you can just kind of pull that up like that. So that's the line you're going to want to watch, because if we pull back and we do break this line and we do that break retest, we're going down in a big way, like probably back down into this range here. So Um, that's kind of the levels that I'm watching on those on Ethereum as well. And then all the other altcoins, guys, those pretty much follow those too. So you can stick with those. Um, so let's check my ATA. So I did add Aave, if y'all remember. I debated many times on whether I wanted to keep it going, but I was like, I don't know. We just were ranging so well that I was like, I'm gonna keep it going. So you can see 4 days ago, I started it. So far, I made $77. This is where I started it, and look at this, just sideways. So it was a good call, bringing Aave on. Just traded absolutely sideways. I mean, it only had to DCA 5 times out of 27 trades. So doing well on the shorts. We're currently in a short, which is looks like it's almost in profit. Um, the longs have made 36, so 77, 36, so $100 in 4 days on Aave. So I'll take it. You can see, look at the longs. This is the greatest environment, as y'all, I mean, you two running these ATAs, you guys know that, this is the greatest environment here when it just goes sideways like this, because you're going to capitalize on both directions and just kill it. So 25 trades, also six DCAs. It didn't get quite a big of a pump, it looks like, which is going to impact that profit. Um, but I'll take it, $100 on Aave. Let me go to my 1 hour. I'm still going to keep it. I mean, I still got room to go down. I still got room to go up. I am creating higher lows, but I also do have a bear flag forming, right? So um, I'm gonna keep it going, guys. I mean, I'm not overextending, so if I have to manually take over, I can. My settings, for those wondering, I'm only doing one DCA, so I'm not really giving it a lot of room to get out anyways. So if I see it has already done one DCA, I do have to intervene because I'm only doing the one. So I am doing parabolic SAR. I don't know, guys. We have all these other strategies, and I like them all for various reasons, but I love the SARS, man. That thing, that's our latest and greatest, and it's so patient, which really helps you not get caught nearly as much. So, but yeah, so you can see I have the closed trade. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the same thing on my long SARS one DCA. So I'm not being real aggressive, but think about it, I've only got one DCA, so I don't have a ton of risk in that game, and I still earning $100 in 4 days, so I'll take it. So we're gonna keep Ave. I got about 3 minutes. I'm just gonna keep pushing, so we'll try to keep the time. So we have Ethereum is my next one. I've been running this one for like ever. So let's take a look and see how that one's doing. All right, so let's look at the long. So the long's done pretty well. We reset it 8 days ago, $78. So not nearly as good as Ave is doing on that. I think it got stuck back here. Yeah, so there was a little bit of a stretch where it got stuck, so that's going to impact that. Even in the 8 days, it only has 26 trades on the long. So now the short, you have 25 trades, 8 DCAs, but the falls that are coming back is paying off pretty well. So in 8 days, we have 104 and 78. So I'll take it. I mean, almost $200 on that one, Ave. So you got $300, between 4 and 8 days on these two. So if I look at where I'm at, so my long is not even in a long, so that's great. My short is on DCA two. So I will keep an eye on the short. I don't have another DCA, I don't believe. No. I'm not going to add a third one yet. We're not nearly far enough away, and I think we're going to come down. I mean, my entry is 1845, guys. I'm not worried. I mean, look at this. The DCA it did on this level here was just absolutely perfect. So, I mean, a DCA almost at the peak. So we'll keep an eye on it, but I'm not overly concerned about it. If I'm gonna DCA two at this level, I mean, it would be somewhere way up here, anyways, in the 2000 range. So I'm just gonna be patient and just let it roll. So, um, and then my last one is my fan fave LTC. Let's start out with the shorts. My shorts have made $403 in 13 days. I've ran this one the longest. Y'all know I love LTC. This thing just earns. Currently, I'm in a short with one DCA. It looks like Entry's getting a little farther away. I think I do have the ability to DCA two. I do on this one, and my line's up here around 94.76, which is a good DCA point because you can see we had some pretty good resistance in that area. So we'll just let those shorts play out. But I mean, $403 in 13 days, I'll take it. 440 on longs in 13 days. So I love to see the longs and the shorts balance like that because it just it means it's a pretty healthy pair that's running because it's oscillating, perfectly for them. My long is just in a long, no DCA. So we're looking pretty good. Perfect case scenario would be we pull back, get out of my short, DCA my long, and then pump up, right? That would be ideal. But you figure, all in all, guys, I mean, I'm running these two. So what was that, 840 plus, what was it, 300? So 1140 I've made. I mean, if you just, if you take 13 days, take my longest one I've been running. I mean, that's not too bad, right? Because this is on the Gambit, right? Which is the $5,000 trading ATA. So yeah, so I'll take it. So those are just the three that I'm running. I'm not running. I don't think. Yeah, I'm not running any other ones. Um, the I don't really want to run more than three right now, guys. I mean, I'm earning well. I'm up for the month. I'm not really stuck in anything. Um, there's no need to be greedy. There's a lot of news coming out. You all know that the ATAs do well in this sideways stuff. It's the parabolic stuff, right? That you got to really help it out. I think we're getting ready for a parabolic move. I don't know that it's going to be to the upside. I think it's going to be to the downside, but it could be to the upside first before it goes to the downside. Um, so I'm just going to let it go. If anything, I may stop my Ave and just take my wins. But I'll assess that tomorrow. I think if I stop it, it would probably be tomorrow. But we'll let it run one more day. But again, on all of them, man, the key area for those of you who are new watching this, the key area to focus on, I suggest the safer one is parabolic stars right now for sure. I leave these default all the time unless I'm doing something that needs to manipulate it to get the entry. But this is the area that controls your volume. So if you're new, you want to keep an eye on this and follow along mostly. If you're running a little overextended, because the default, remember, is two pairs both ways. Don't overextend these DCAs. Try to keep it to one, no more than two, and then follow along with the huddles. And you guys can always ask questions in here. So if you have a question, I just now see you guys' questions. I'll get to that in a second. You can ask in here because I'd rather look at something and kind of give you some guidance on it than you just keep throwing DCAs at it, right? And then we go bull run, and that's how you get liquidated. So, um, ETH short at 1761. Um, I mean, that's not really deep, John. I mean, I would let it run. We're gonna go back to 1700 for sure. I mean, that we'll definitely go back to 1700. I mean, can we push up higher to 19 or 2K before we do that? Sure, but we'll go back to 1700. I'd be more concerned if you have a ETH short anywhere less than 1500. I'd be concerned. I didn't have that scheduled, Papa Bill. I have to, so as y'all know, this week's spring break, so I have to help my daughter with something. Um, I can try to schedule one a little bit later, maybe today or this evening, but I mean, really, it takes about 3 seconds to go over, so I can really show you right now. Ladder trading is not, don't overcomplicate it. People tend to overcomplicate things more than you need to. All I mean by ladder trading is there was a video, I don't know if you found it, but where I talked about it. Sean had literally pinpointed it to the minute, so I hope you could have found it. But um, literally all it means is if you're in a short, if you're in a short and you're trying to hedge, you don't really want to full hedge it because then unless you really need to, like if we're going parabolic, because it locks you, right? It takes away all your abilities. So what I was doing is I told everybody, take your volume, take 1/10 of whatever your volume is. So if you're in a one Bitcoin short, take a long right now on your Bitget. You're not doing it in the ATA. You have to do this manually. I know it sucks. We have to touch our exchange from time to time. And you're going to take a point 0.1 Bitcoin long. And then you set a take profit at like 100% or something like that. And then you just basically keep an eye on it, right? You can set different alerts and stuff. And if it goes up to 100%, you made something, right? I mean, it's going to take profit. Now, the reason why it's called ladder is when that point one goes negative, 25 or 50% or so, I'd say about 50% at first, then you add another point one, comes down, and then you just set your take profit at a little lower, maybe like 50%. And then if we fall back again, then you add another point one and then reset your take profit to 50%. At some point, it's going to bounce into that 50%. It's just going to. Or worst case, or best case, I guess, we keep going down and then you get out of your short anyways, right? And then you have a less of a long to fight. But had you done some style of trading like this, you just hit close and then take volume off. You're killing me, Smalls. I know we've been through it. That's why you're killing me, Smalls. I don't know that I can log into my Bitget quickly, and I don't want this call to go too long because this one's not really about that. But let me see if this will let me. I'm checking in my one of my Bitgets. Yeah, I'll have to do that later. But I mean, all you do on it, Bill, is and you really should study this. You should go to the demo is what you should do and spend time on that because the demo you can do whatever you want. Don't mess around with it. It's simple on this one too. You hit close, it tells you how much do you want to close. It literally asks you how much you want to close. You're probably skipping past it though. But just open up the demo and then just go in there and then when you hit the I think it's next to the flash close or whatever, but just play around on the demo. I mean, it's literally right there. It tells you there's volume on it. On your, if you do it on your mobile, I mean, I don't think you're doing much on the mobile, but when you hit close on the mobile, it actually there's a box that populates and you put how many you want to close. Is all you do. But don't the ladder trading does not intentionally have anything to do with closing your short. What it has to do with is your whole purpose. If you did this like 2 weeks ago, you probably would have enough to just close all your short. But the whole purpose is as we get these bullish bounces, right? You're just adding volume as we go down, and then you get a big win on the way up. You add volume on the way down, you get a big win on the way up. Hence ladder, right? So that I mean that's all it is. You really don't want to overcomplicate it because if you're overcomplicating it, you're gonna have trouble anyway. So it's simple rules. This is what I do. I put in 1/10 or 1/8 of my trade, volume up, 50% profit, walk away. It either hits my profit or it goes backwards 50%, and I add another point one, and then I set the same thing. If it either hits it or it goes backwards, I add another point one. That's literally all you do, and you just keep doing that, and then as you earn enough on that. You can go in and close part of the short. And if you don't know how to do that, go to your demo. I mean, that's the best thing I can tell you. Because, I mean, you really should be, if you're not proficient on your exchange, then I have a lot more concerns, anyways, because you really should be. So, otherwise, it's going to cost you a lot on big mistakes. So, I can show people 100 times, but if you don't practice, then you're not going to retain it. So, but I do got to end this call, so I'll see if I have some time later. We're working on a project today, and I got to help my daughter with something, so I don't know that I'll get it. Man, look at this ETH pump right here again. Just retested that line. So wild. What's interesting is the stocks are actually pulling back, so that's interesting that that did that. Hmm. But yeah, check out the demo, play with it. Always do the demo, man, because you could click it, close it, anything. I mean, nothing affects it, right? Why practice on your main account? Because you accidentally click a wrong button, and that's gonna hurt. So, but I'll talk to you guys later. I want to cut this out. Well, appreciate your time.